Thank you. Good evening, members of the public. We're glad to have you here today. I'd like to call to order the July 14, 2025 Common Council meeting. But for all, I believe you would like to make some comments regarding the link for this meeting and other expectations.
Good evening, members of the public. For audio quality, we will be moving everyone not speaking by default to maintain good audio quality for council members and yourself. If you would like to speak during the meeting on a certain agenda item or during privilege of the floor, please submit your request in the chat. Directions to do so will soon be posted. We ask that you provide your full name, address, and topic you're speaking on, as those are required for in-person speech. If you would like to be called on during the meeting to provide public input, please insert the following into the chat, and you will be called on during the relevant time for public input. My name, full name, I live at address, and I would like to speak on for or against agenda items. You will then be given 5 minutes to speak. Please be sure to unmute yourself prior to giving the results. Your remarks. Thank you.
All right. Disrespectful, rude, or disruptive speech or actions will not be tolerated. Such speech and or actions also, as well as verbal attacks on any person, may result in the individual, without notice, forfeiting the remainder of his or her allotted time. We're so grateful to have in the chambers tonight Pastor Joseph Reisinger of Lighthouse Baptist Church. At this time, we'll all stand as he gives an invitation. Thanks, standing for the pledge.
Let's pray together. Father God in heaven, I thank you, Lord, so much for the love that you have shown to all of us, Lord. I pray you bless this meeting time. Bless all these folks that have come. Lord, I pray that you would confound the wicked one. I pray that you would turn our city, our nation back to God. I pray, Lord, you would revive us again. I pray you would work in the hearts and lives of people, and that we would understand that you're a great God, loving God, and you have good plans for us. Lord, I pray that you would bless our city immensely, and I pray that you would turn us from the crime and the damage and the difficulties of the things that are going on. Lord, I pray that you would turn us back to a holy and godly way. And we'll praise you for it in all of eternity. And thank you, Lord Jesus. In Christ's name, amen.
Now we repeat the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Clerk Toronto, could you please give us the roll?
Ben Rogers,
Present.
Councilmember McBride,
Present.
Councilmember Warner,
Present.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Present.
Councilmember Nastasky,
Present.
Councilmember White, present. Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Present.
Vice President Thomas Morgan,
Present.
President Lee.
Present.
All 9 members present.
All right, we will now hear reports from the Committee on Minutes for May 12th and for June 23rd, 2025.
To the Common Council of the City of South Bend, the subcommittee has inspected the minutes of the May 12th, 2025 and the June 23rd, 2025 meetings of the council and found them to be correct. Therefore, we recommend the same be approved.
I move to approve the amendment.
There's been a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposition? Motion passes. There is no special business and there is no reports from city officers. At this time, I will now entertain a motion resolved in the Committee of the Whole.
So moved.
There's been a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion passes.
Committee of the Whole is now in session. This is the portion of the council's meeting where bills are given a second reading and a public hearing before a committee made up of all 9 council members. All bills set for this second reading and public hearing have previously been given a first reading and a committee hearing prior to this evening's meeting. In addition, we will hear from the chairperson of the standing committee where the bill was discussed and the results of that discussion. If the proposed ordinance is a zoning ordinance, a report from a staff member will be given in all other situations. The formal presentation on the proposed ordinance will immediately follow the committee report. The formal presentation shall be untimed. Following that, members of the public shall have the opportunity to address the council in the public hearing portion. For Toronto, we're gonna start, Bill 2935, or 2925, was formally withdrawn. With that, we will move to Bill 3025. Clerk Toronto, will you please give Bill 3025 a second reading?
Public hearing on an ordinance of the common council of the city of South Bend, Indiana, approving a petition of the advisory board of zoning appeals for the property located at 1114 Mayflower Road, Councilman District Number 6 in the city of South Bend, Indiana.
Thank you. Do we have a committee report?
Yes, the property on Mayflower Road was brought to you with no recommendation because the petitioner wasn't here. And, we said we'll wait till the petitioner is there, and I don't know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
State your name and address and give us the key points of the bill. Thank you.
Absolutely. Mark Illustrito, zoning specialist, city of South Bend, with offices on the 14th floor. Good evening, council members. This, is bill number 3025, a petition for a special exception by the owner of 1114 Mayflower Road to permit a school, pre-K, primary, secondary, as defined in section 210601 F11 of the city zoning code within the suburban 1 district. And in this case, the school would specifically serve as a pre-K or early childhood program. The property shown here contains a building that previously served as a daycare starting in 2012, meaning that this new use would be fitting for the existing structure. Here's the driveway to the side of the property, and here's an overhead with the entrance off of Mayflower Court. The pre-K program would fit with the surrounding land use and zoning of the suburban residential neighborhood. And finally, this use would be compatible with recommendation E1 from the city's comprehensive plan, which is to establish and maintain a consistent planning, review, and development process with institutions of higher education, private schools, and the SCCFC to address existing and future school facilities.
Thank you. Do we have a petitioner present?
There may be a petitioner online. I'm not sure if they are in attendance, but that was their plan.
Do we have a petitioner online? If so, will you please unmute yourself? Okay, so, council, at this point in time, we can move forward, we can table it and wait for a petitioner. Councilmember Nitzkowski.
Thank you, Chair. I did have some questions for the petitioner.
Okay.
Since that is my district, I know exactly where this is at. This is right across the street from Countryside Village Apartments. It was a, daycare at one time, but I do have some questions. So since the petitioner is not here, I would request it to be tabled for the next meeting.
Okay, is that a motion?
Yes.
Okay. We have a motion to table the bill.
I have a question on that. Can we just table that, it goes back to the committee, since, the next time, because we didn't get a presentation in our own committee, so can we just table it, go back to the committee and start all over again?
So it goes back to the committee, but even though it was,
Because we didn't hear any presentation on it at all.
Second. Okay, I have a motion and a second to, table, it is Bill 3025 for 2 weeks to the 28th. Oh, you want to vote? We're getting there. Okay. Clerk Toronto, can you please do a roll call vote for us?
Councilmember Bowman Simpson,
aye.
Councilmember McBride,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Councilmember Nasaki,
Aye.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Councilmember White. Aye. Councilmember Good Rogers,
Aye.
Vice President Wilma Morgan,
Aye.
President Lee.
Aye.
Thank you. Bill 3025 will be tabled to July 28th. If you could please, let the petitioner know we expect to, hear from them on July 28th in the committee and then again at 7 p.m. hour. Thank you. And with that, Clerk Toronto, can you please give Bill 3125 a second reading?
Public hearing of the ordinance of the common council of the city of South Bend, Indiana, amending the zoning ordinance for property located at 314 West Chippewa Avenue, council made district number 5 in the city of South Bend, Indiana.
Thank you. Member Davis, the committee report?
Yes, the petitioners for this bill also were not present this afternoon. And so we brought that with no recommendations or no data against tonight.
Okay, thank you.
All right, good
We'll
evening.
start with staff. Thank you.
Good evening, council members. Tim Stout, zoning specialist for the city of South Bend, with offices on the 14th floor. Reporting this bill 3125, petition to rezone 250 Chippewa Avenue, from C commercial to S to, suburban neighborhood 2. First, the petitioner plans to, develop a 3-story apartment flat on the vacant parcel along with common space and parking lot. This parcel was farmland before 1951. Then it became a Park Drive-In movie theater through 1994, which it was then demolished, to make way for a movie theater and a vacant lot. So here is the existing vacant lot, as we walk along Chippewa and the private drive that serves the movie theater. So the South Bend Comprehensive Plan Objective H1, so this petition is consistent with the plan, Objective H1, ensure that an adequate supply of housing is available to meet the needs, preferences, and financial capabilities of the households now and in the future. The area around the site, and then going back to the kind of the layout, the area around the site is mostly industrial and commercial uses. Zoning this property suburban neighborhood would permit the activation of this long vacant land that has been dormant for 30 years. It would help provide additional housing and near many amenities, including commercial uses, the major transportation corridors, and yeah, that's pretty much how we see it.
Thank you. Do we have a petitioner present? Good evening and welcome.
Sam Rogers with Virgin Health, student 8902 North Meridian Street, Indianapolis, Indiana. First and foremost, our sincere apology about the committee meetings. We were not aware we needed to get one, so our sincere apology. But first and foremost, thank you so much for having us this evening. Like Tim said, obviously very excited to be here to discuss activating a long dormant, 30-year dormant parcel, basically develop workforce and family workforce housing, attainable housing for basically working families. It's 180 units, basically designed, as he said here, 5 buildings with an amenity space, a 3-story walk-up, a development with mainly two and 3 bedroom units, obviously cater to families. Rental rates will be somewhere between $900 for 1 bedroom and $1,300 for a 3 bedroom, so it is in that workforce affordable, attainable housing sphere, if you will. Another exciting function of this is there will also be a very large solar energy component to this, which will basically pay for all the electrical charges for the residents. So basically, they pay one rent, and that's it. So they don't have the fluctuations that we see in the summer and the winter as well. Sort of a timeline for this would be designing this fall, or to start in the spring as soon as we get through the winter months. 10 months from there to open the actual development itself, and then obviously backfill the rest of the buildings from there. So, I'm very, very excited to bring some more new housing opportunities to the south side of South Bend, and happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you. Council members. Councilmember Gooden Rogers.
Yes, I would like to know, isn't there a scrap metal place in that, are they close together in that facility like this? How far away are they?
It's somewhat close, but I can also say that our phase one environmental report that we have done shows that all that is going down gradient away from our site, there should not be any danger of that at all.
What about noise?
I don't believe no issues there at all.
That's something to think about.
Councilmember Gordon.
Hey there.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing fine. That's in the fifth district, in my district, so I'm pleased that we're getting some more, housing. Since this is from, for family, as you said, you have any plans for, I didn't see anything about a park or anything, how are you gonna accommodate, how would you accommodate children?
Oh, certainly. So I should have mentioned, our amenity space will have a park, pool, a fitness center, play areas, really going to be Evo, sort of an area that you can enjoy the outdoors. Let's go.
Thank you. I might have some more questions, you.
Thank you. Could you share a little bit about your history of development in Indiana or in this region or in South Carolina?
Certainly. Virgin Health was started in essentially 2008, coming out of the financial crisis. We started buying essentially failed condo development that we turned into actual workforce housing. And so from there, it was growing from basically at 60 units to basically at 24,000 units nationwide. Of Indianapolis, at the state of Indiana itself, we developed ground up about 3,000 units, all of which are affordable in nature. And that sort of goes along with the entire Virgin Health sort of ethos or strategy is that we're very much a workforce housing development company. That's sort of our way, if you will.
And is this your first development in South Bend?
Yes, it is. We're very excited about it.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much for the investment of housing in our fifth district. One of the questions that I got from a resident who called me is people are afraid of affordable housing and afraid that it's going to become a slum and all of that. How would you guys protect us from that not happening?
Well, so there's a lot of things, actually. The first thing is our construction type is obviously a very high end. The same as a market rate, if you will. Actually, there's only a party plank, brick, granite countertops, all of the higher end items there in order to make sure that the property looks good long term as well maintained. Also, we have all kinds of operating reserves we have to have as part of the programs that we're in that actually goes into an account that help maintain the property as well. The other side too is as part of the program, all of our residents have to show income, show job and employment status, and so that obviously helps to maintain that as well.
Thank you. Councilmember Nesbitt.
I have two questions. So the people that will be maintaining these and overseeing what you just described, is that someone that you're going to have here locally that will be overseeing this facility to ensure that the repairs are made and that this doesn't, that everything is up to a good standard of living?
Absolutely. Virgin Health manages all of our own properties. We have our own staff. We'll have on-site property management, 24/7 maintenance as well. So it'll all be on-staff handled by us. And nobody quite loves your properties like you do. So that's always our.
Okay, good to know. My second question is, you mentioned that they didn't have to pay utilities.
Yeah.
So does that include water? They don't have to pay water?
Water and Wi-Fi. It's all inclusive. They just say one rent.
Okay, so when you said the solar, since you said that, the solar system, so this must be electric heat then?
Yeah.
There's no gas, this is an all electric build out?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Go to the folks that haven't had a chance first before we go to second.
want to, I'm sorry. I would like to know, are you bringing your own crew? What do you have? Do you have, any union-based, workers with you, or what do you?
But we do have our own construction company, but we'll bid everything out locally. Obviously, we think the local subs are the ones that know the area the best, and all that totally an open bidding process, and we'll use the best subs we can.
So you are gonna use some of our local workers
That's what we can.
and contractors?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted to expound on your solar energy, component. You have, the grid will be, somewhere on the site. Could you expound upon that? I'm very interested in this.
Certainly, it'll be a combination of actual panels on the rooftop, and it doesn't show it here, but also a carport. That's what we have, the solar on top of the carport. We find it's an amenity for the residents because they get to use the carport free of charge, but then it also generates the solar on the roof as well.
That's it. We're gonna go to public. This time, we will go to the public hearing portion. Members of the public shall have the opportunity to address the council, beginning with members of the public in favor, each limited to 5 minutes, and then going to members of the public against, again, each limited to 5 minutes. Is there anyone in the public, either in person or online, wishing to speak in favor of bill number 3125?
I do not see any members of the public in person or online wishing to speak in favor of the bill.
Saw a hand over here. You have to come up to the podium if you'd like to speak. Good, okay. And with that, we'll go on to oppose. Any members of the public, either in person or online, wishing to speak against bill 3125.
I do not see any members of the public in person or online wishing to speak in opposition.
Okay, with that, the public hearing on bill 3125 is now closed. We'll bring it back to, council members. Are there any kind of final questions, comments?
I just want to ask, can we, for the record, put our scouts on the minute for his approval of?
His approval?
Yeah.
Yes, the record shall so reflect that our young Boy Scout approves of the bill. With that, any other questions, comments? May I have a motion, please?
Move for passage? Oh, move to, yes,
Recommendation.
recommendation, move, to send it to the whole council with a favorable recommendation.
Motion for a favorable recommendation and a second. Clerk Toronto, can you please do the roll call?
Councilmember McBride.
Aye.
Councilmember Bolton Simpson.
Aye.
Councilmember Warner.
Aye.
Councilmember Nisgowsky. Aye. Councilmember Dr. Davis.
Aye.
Councilmember White. Councilmember Good Rogers.
Aye.
Vice President Wilmot Morgan.
Aye.
President Lee.
Aye.
9 ayes.
Thank you. Bill 3125 will go to the full council with favorable recommendation. Thank you for your investment. And with that, we will now go to 3225. Can I have a motion to accept substitute 3225?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of accepting substitute bill 3225 signify at this time by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Substitute is accepted. And Clerk Toronto, can you please give second reading to bill 3225?
Public hearing on an ordinance of the common council of the city of South Bend, Indiana, amending the zoning ordinance for property located at 1037 West Colfax Avenue, Councilman District Number 2, in the city of South Bend, Indiana.
Thank you. Do we have a committee report?
Yes. Bill 3225 was heard this afternoon in the zoning and organization committee and comes with a favorable recommendation.
Thank you.
Good evening, council members. Tim Staub, zoning specialist for the city of South Bend. with offices on the 14th floor of the store. Before you is Bill 3225, a petition to rezone 1037 Colfax Avenue from U1 to UF, or your neighborhood 1 to urban neighborhood flex. The petitioner seeks to convert existing vacant home into office space. The building was originally constructed in 1902 with driveway and garage from Colfax established between 1917 and 1945. The property is served by property is again served by the driveway and the garage. Colfax Avenue is a mostly detached homes with in the U1 urban neighborhood 1 district, and this property is adjacent to the city cemetery or zoned OS. So just for clarification, staff originally recommended finding unfavorable. This was because we believe the plan did not meet the city plan to ensure the adequate supply of housing is available to meet the preferences and financial capabilities of the household. As this is removing a house from the local housing stock, staff also found the petition inconsistent with the near west side neighborhood plan as depicted above. As this recommends the space become U2 or medium density zone. That being said, when it was brought before the planning commission, they determined that the uses the petitioner was seeking were low impact on neighborhoods, and the commission found that the favorable recommendation, or the commission then found that favorable recommendation with written commitments restricting the lot development potential beyond the context of, or essentially beyond the context of the neighborhood, and restricting the additional uses associated with urban neighborhood flex beyond what would be permitted in the neighborhood plan. And then attached to the ordinance is Exhibit A, which is the written commitments. There are 23 of them, so if anyone has any questions about those, just read that.
Thank you. And our petitioner. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening. I'm Myra Reed, for Myra Properties LLC, located at 1822 East Fox Street, South Bend, Indiana. I'm here on a petition, as you've already heard, to rezone a vacant property, from a U1 to a UF. This property, from what I've heard from surrounding neighbors, it has been vacant for 4 years plus. It has been utilized in ways that go against the plan anyways for the 4 years, meaning that there has been occupied by unauthorized persons, people without housing, and also rodents and other animals who have torn up the doors and other interior property. So what we'd like to do is take this vacant property, but no usage so far for over 40 years, and turn it into some usage and beautify the outside, renovate the inside so that it can be used in the community once again. The outside of the property will remain pretty much the same, except for some renovations, siding, ribbing, windows, lawn care, which is much needed. Per one of the neighbors, they were very happy to know that someone would finally be taking care of the lawn on a regular basis. As I stated before, the outside will remain relatively the same. There won't be any new structures as far as 4-story buildings or additional structures on the land. There was some concern about possibly changing the atmosphere of the neighborhood. That will not happen. It will still look the same on the outside, like I said, except for looking a little bit better than it does right now. It will be regularly used, regularly maintained. It would not result in the excessive traffic. This property is in between downtown and the new King Center. It's kind of somewhat of a busy residential street anyway, but this property would not add to that. The purpose of the rezoning would be for professional offices, such as possible small accounting firms, mediation, attorneys, wellness, and health. Something that would not add up to traffic, any noise violations, litter. I mean, we really, really maintain because it's gonna be a professional office. As far as, I think we talked about earlier signage, the intent is not to provide any loud signage. If you look at any other, businesses in that area, which are also law firms, insurance companies, the signage is very, sophisticated. It's not very loud because that's not the theme of a law firm, accounting firm, anything to that nature. So, basically, we just want to come in and utilize the property, improve the safety, where you're not having crime, you're not having, people occupying the house that are not supposed to occupy the house, and maintain a property that will be a benefit to the surrounding neighbors. So if you have any questions, I'm free to answer.
Thank you. Could you discuss the neighbors that you went to visit, the feedback, and, what were your thoughts regarding that?
Yes, and I apologize, I don't remember the names, but I can tell you where they were located. There is a house right behind 1037 Kofax, where an older gentleman has been there for several decades. It's a relatively large house. He told me that used to be, it actually used to be a school. So I think it's like a 7-bedroom house. I apologize again, I don't remember his name, but he was wanting to know what we were doing with the property. He was happy to know that someone was maintaining the property. That's the feedback I got from him. There was a neighbor directly, the immediate neighbor. So if you're facing the house, it'll be to the right. I think it's a blue house. That neighbor I spoke with, as a new owner as well. I told him my plans. He actually said, "Are you sure you want to do that? You know, there's high crime in that house part. Lots of drug usage, homelessness." And I said, "I'm willing to take on that challenge." He actually, offered to help me renovate the house. There's another neighbor directly in front. It's a husband and wife team. I believe the husband inherited the property from his mother. They've been living there for decades, very nice older couple, really nice maintained lawn. The wife was more concerned about what I'm gonna do with the tree in front of the yard. Even though that tree is on the city property and not on my property, I will still be maintaining the lawn if I'm gonna do that.
A follow-up to that, did you encounter anybody that was in the neighborhood, either at our, planning meeting or, in your neighborhood tour that you just described, that was in opposition, and then how did you address their concerns?
I will say I didn't speak to anyone directly about any opposition. I believe there was one of the neighbors that came over, my husband was there doing the lawn. And she asked what we were doing with the property, just hoping that it's not gonna be another rental. That's all I got.
When she meant not another rental, means in terms of housing or what?
Yeah, I'm sorry, a housing rental. She was afraid that someone would come in and not. I guess there was some issues with the rental property, residential rental in the past, where there was a lot of crime, I think, a lot of drug usage, gunshots. So, I believe based on what she informed asked my husband, she was just wondering whether or not it would be a regular residential rental.
Last is, those commitments, all those 23 commitments are something that you have no problem with abiding by.
Absolutely no problem at all, Dr.
Yes. How much do you estimate that you guys are gonna have to invest to get that building up?
It will be a lot. So it will be overtime as well. So the exterior, with partial roofing, I already invested a little bit in that just because I had to stop the immediate damage that was coming into the back way. But on the outside, probably because we're doing some of it ourselves, about $5,000. On the inside, it's gonna be a little bit more because there's hardwood floors, which are destroyed. As I mentioned before, the back area is simply damaged by water. I had to get the electrical going and get a permit for that. When they start getting the water going, so I can't tell you exactly how much it would be, but it probably will be tens of thousands of dollars.
Thank you.
Thank you. After you showed the picture of the house, we didn't see the back, but I was wondering, is there a space for it to be handicap accessible in the back?
It is, we would probably have to open up that back room because it already has a ramp.
Okay.
So there's, it looks like it might have, could have been a duplex in the past because there's two staircases in the house. But that back way, there's already a ramp that goes into that back way, but it looks as though someone put cabinets or something to cover the doors and because there are break-ins and broken windows, they put something in front of the door. So we'll just open that up, the door will be handicap accessible.
I know you want to keep it as residential looking. Yeah, it would be good if the ramp is in the back and people with disabilities too.
Yeah. And it's already there.
That's
It
good.
has to be fixed, but it's there.
All right. I'm real interested, when I knew that there was 23, commitments that had to be kept. I've never seen it in the past, that many commitments. Have you ever seen that here? On this council? Are you Dr. Davis? Have you ever seen 23 commitments coming on?
It was a rather long meeting, trust me, and I put
I'm just very,
and
I've never seen that,
what happened was,
looking at the,
the staff, well, we had a lot of questions regarding, so it could be specific. And then the staff, like they shared today, they came by, summarized our conversation, but typically, meetings have been rather short, but that was a long meeting. And we worked out that because given the nature of what her efforts are and the concerns of the committee, so those 23 did a good job of summarizing. But yeah, that was rather different.
I mean,
We've had like 10 before and 12, but
I mean,
this is probably the
it looks
record.
good. I just want to make sure we're consistent when everybody that comes through here. I've never, ever could imagine that you could investigate, you write this down for everybody
I got
that
you,
comes
I got you.
in front of us. I mean, that is.
I hear your point. I hear your point.
Done.
I hear your point.
So I just wanna, because that's what I was asking Councilwoman McBride, and like, I've never seen 23 commitments on a bill before. So this came on the DNA committee or the plan committee?
The plan committee. This is the plan committee we had the third Monday of June. And,
Yeah.
we had,
Yeah, you
it
should
was
serve
a
on,
lively discussion.
you
It was
should serve on that.
Yeah, it was a good discussion, so it was longer than normal, I will admit, but I thought that, you know, you answered the question, I was online and she was answering those questions, so and the staff summarized it to the T.
So thank you for your investment, or if this makes it through, for your investment on in that property. It sounds like it's in pretty bad shape, and for you to take that on is, wonderful, that's for sure.
Thank you, I'm excited.
Okay, Councilmember Thomas.
Yes, thank you. This is, going back to staff to answer. So, I really do, I know that some of this is redundant, but not everybody in the chambers or on council or was at the committee meeting. But, firstly, I really appreciate, the time and effort you took to codify the commitment. I was at the plan commission meeting, for a number of bills, not just this. It was very confusing. There are a lot of, discussion and commitments being proposed. Some wasn't even sure if it was possible. So it's really helpful to see all this codified, and I would just recommend moving forward that this be practiced. Sometimes we talk about commitments verbally and don't actually see them written before we pass the bill, so this is really helpful. But going back to the process, so even within this commitment, it said, this listing, it says that the commitments may be modified or terminated by the decision of the South Bend Plan Commission. at a future hearing, with proper notice. And, so just to clarify, if, this does go back to the plan commission to modify or terminate it, does it come back to the council?
So, not to that council. So have to have a public.
I'm sorry, could you say-
It would not return to council, but it would still have a public hearing before the, plan commission.
Okay, thank you. And then, I was just wondering if you could, one of you could speak to the neighborhood plan that this council passed just a little over a year ago. And so the brown there is U1, which is what all of Colfax, in front, the entire street, to the west and to the east, and also, behind the property itself, all that brown is, currently, is what we passed as council, urban neighborhood 2, which is residential.
So the dark brown is urban neighborhood 2, which is slightly more permissive, so we can build up to 4 units
Mm-hmm.
on a parcel. And then the current status is mostly, urban neighborhood 1.
Right. And then could you go back to that last slide? So urban flex, which is what this petitioner is asking to be rezoned, is the orange, and you'll see that the current neighborhood plan has done a good job to try to, in many ways, control the spot zoning that our entire neighborhood has been subject to, over history. And so there are UF and neighborhood center, which are properties that were, the neighborhood plan, the neighbors themselves had wanted to control development more along the peripheries, the corridors, William Street, down there by Western. And so really kind of on the periphery of the neighborhood centers. So I just, as you say in your comments, that the desire was really to preserve, residential in this area and not to take away housing stock. So then my question goes back, to the petitioner, and I know you answered this again, but just, to reiterate, my question to you is if whoever would be, having an office here would also be living in this, on this property, on the top floor, and having business on the bottom floor.
No, the plan is not to have someone living in it. It kind of interferes with small office space. I mean, you would have to have a fully functional kitchen, most in that area, a full bathtub. That's not the intent that I have for this property, would be small office. It will keep the outside, appeal of residential with no significant changes. I don't have the money for that anyway, and I like the way that it looks, and I would like to keep it that way. So I don't think that it would interfere with anything having to do with the residential area. It will keep the same nature of what it is right now, just a little bit better.
Thank you for answering my questions again.
I'd like to say, thank you for taking this property and, bringing it into a business. I am from that area, and I know that that house has had a drug problem back in the day, okay? And now you're gonna come along and you're gonna take it and make it into a great business. So good luck. And, I'm sure you're gonna do a good job. And I'm glad to see that it's being turned into something that's gonna be worthwhile. Thank you for your investment.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Yes, at this time, we'll go to the public hearing portion. Members of the public shall have the opportunity to address the council about the bill, with each limited to 5 minutes. We'll start first with those in favor of the bill, and then go to those against the bill, again, limited to 5 minutes. So at this time, is there any members of the public wishing to speak in favor of 3225, either in person or online? And please come up to the podium and your name and address, please.
That was taken, and we live over there in District Two, where you're talking about getting the property at. And I think that's a beautiful idea, because I also own several properties over there. And that area was a very uplifting property. Yes, it might have some rural problems, but you had plenty of bring that back to the community, will help that community. You have a church there, you have several churches there, you have barbecue places there, you have the new King Center around there that will enhance the area. They even over there modified the old cemetery over there. So it brought beauty to that. There's a beautiful, Colfax is a beautiful Victoria Street. But a person like you bring that into the neighborhood, yes. Like I say, I own properties over there, and I like to see a beautiful neighborhood, and I like to see something come into the neighborhood, positive and uplifting.
With that, could you please state your address for the record, please?
My address is 234 North Apple Street, South Bend, Indiana, 43619.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public, either in person or online, wishing to speak in favor of Bill 3225?
I do not see any additional members of the public wishing to speak in favor of the bill in person or online.
With that, we'll go to any members of the public wishing to speak against the rezoning in Bill 32-25, either in person or online.
I do not see any members of the public in person or online wishing to speak in opposition.
Thank you. I'll bring it back to the council. I do want to address the commitment. I'm not against this project. This is more to the staff, what I'm going to say. We've got 3 commitments here. My experience with the commitments and watching that is it kind of turns into a negotiation free-for-all. We've seen that in council members too when we have these. I will also bring up, we had a rezoning on East Colfax about a year ago. A little bit different, but still it was taking a U1 to bumping up to a UF, putting in some offices. I voted against it, it passed. But the concern of neighbors there was same concern here, we want to do that, but we don't want a bar or a tavern going in or multi-family housing going in. And I want to make sure as we do this, we're consistent, right? With how we treat all of these. And I understand that we have residential neighborhoods that have some empty lots, empty properties, and there's an opportunity to put in small professional business here that kind of makes sense, especially in the kind of post-COVID work world where a lot of attorneys, a lot of accountants, a lot of therapists and people do a lot of it online via Zoom. You don't have anywhere near as many meetings person type of things. And so there are situations where it makes sense, but I want to make sure that we're, and these make sense. And I think most people who, if we were doing this in their neighborhood, they would have these exact concerns, maybe a few more. So that's my only issue and concerns here is just make sure that consistency is being done as we have these. And, any other final comments or Councilmember Lee?
I would just like to say to Ms. Myra, who's a respected attorney in our community, to take a problem property. I have had my share of problem properties and to invest in it and to use your money to improve the community and to offer something that's gonna be very unique in that area. I hope that you will work very closely with your neighbors. You committed to 23, um, 23, written commitments. And, again, that says a lot. And everything that has been asked of you, you've been willing to compromise. So we just thank you for your patience and hope that everything goes well.
I do want to thank you, Reed, for, the written commitments, and the staff. This was a lot of work. It is what, I think a lot of neighborhoods are concerned about in changing zoning. I appreciate, having those codified and, do still express concern that, I know these are, difficult to enforce. Just, and not with this property, but across the city. And that's something that I think, as we pass these kinds of commitments, that we're also holding people accountable to these. And so that's just across the board. So I just wanted to say that, really appreciate having this listed and to show it to us. As I said earlier, I am representing, 12 property owners and residents on the block of Colfax, who have contacted me by phone call, I've heard from, or by email, who expressed their strong opposition. 9 of them did, and 3 expressed likely opposition with questions and concerns. So it's a little regrettable that we were able to get it to a neighborhood organization meeting, and maybe share your plans and also these written commitments that we're just seeing today. But that's a significant number of residents on this block. And these are residents who live right across the street and renter next door, and the immediate houses on the north and south side of Colfax, between the cemetery to St. Peter's, St. Paul Street. And they have asked me to represent them in this, and to express their concern. It does other reasons, in addition to the strong opposition of immediate neighbors on the block. It does not conform with the near West Side neighborhood plan that we just passed a year ago, and now we're doing spot zoning. Furthermore, I said earlier, my real concern is that, as well as just if any modifications or termination of these commitments, should occur at the area plan, that the council doesn't have, any voice in that. So, just wanted to share my reasons so that that's transparent to everybody, what my thinking is, and that I'm representing the neighbors and the residents who have approached me about concerns.
I would like to just share, I've been on the zoning when it was, area planning, and thank you all for allowing me to serve last year and this year in the zoning. We have worked hard over the years to make sure that, I have never seen 23, but people have 5, 7, 10, whatever, written commitments. Now, the way you all summarized them was nice and presented us tonight here, but those of us who were at the meeting, nothing that you presented in the written commitment tonight was anything new than what was shared on June the 16th. Everything that was there on January 16th. To my knowledge, the, fact that if it does come before the area plan again, it is true. And I say that it's not true that the council does not have any voice in that. I am the representative for whoever the council has. I represent the council, mayor has representation, we have representation there, and all of us had questions with me, everybody. That was a very, I enjoyed that meeting because it was a thorough meeting. I thought it was a good question because it was something that took into consideration the neighborhood issue, but also took into consideration that we'd rather have somebody put together a building like this and invest thousands of dollars than having raccoons and squirrels trying to pay taxes in a building like that, okay? And that's what was going on. You had animals in that building, you had other things in that building, you had stray people living in that building. That is not good for our neighborhood at all. And so I'd rather have somebody willing to put money and time and investment, and that was the concern of that committee. And I appreciated that concern of the committee, and we've had to work on that too. How do we, have an investor, like the attorney sitting in front of us, or how do we have continuous issues with squirrels and animals and people having issues? I would rather have an attorney invest some business next to my home. And of course, I'm a therapist and she talks about that at all, but a good business to still have raccoons, animals, and stray people standing there, and that have been for years. Not just days, not just weeks, not just months, but for years like that. And so that's why I asked her today, why would you take the time to invest in something like that? Because it's a sore problem. And we all have that issue. Is a person taking the time to invest in a problem? And they are putting their own money and everything else. And that's where the written commitments come in from our years of being on the, where it takes the time to recognize the neighborhood plan, but there's some commitments that have to come in there to keep the spirit of the law without breaking everything that goes with it to build up a community. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we move this favorably to the full council. Thank you.
I have a motion and a second. Clerk Toronto, can you please do a roll call on a favorable motion on Bill 3225?
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Councilmember Miskowski,
Aye.
Councilmember Good Rogers,
Aye.
Councilmember White, Councilmember McBride,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolton Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Vice President Thomas Morgan,
Nay.
President Lee.
Aye.
I have 8 ayes and 1 nay.
Thank you. Bill 3225 will go forward with a favorable recommendation. And with that, Clerk Toronto, can you please give Bill 3925, second reading? We accept the sub. We have sub. At this point, can I have a motion to accept substitute Bill 3925? A motion and a second to accept the substitute. All those in favor signify at this time by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Substitute is accepted. So, Clerk Toronto, at this time, will you please give Bill 3925 a second reading?
Public hearing on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, approving a petition of the Advisory Board of Zoning Appeals for the property located at 1039 Lincoln Way West and 50 Sherman, Councilman District Number 1 in the City of South Bend, Indiana.
So the quick clarification for the substitute is that it, fixes that 50 Sherman line to read, 1039 Lincoln Way West. There was a clerical error when writing up the ordinance that identified it as 18 lane, and then additionally, the petitioner has requested this be tabled, to the meeting on the 28th.
July 28th. So can I have a motion to table Bill 3925 to July 28th? We have a motion and a second to table the bill, and all those in favor of that motion signify at this time by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Bill 3925 shall be tabled to July 28th. And now we will go to Bill 4025. Hang on, we got some more. more procedural things to do for you, sir. So at this time, Clerk Toronto, will you please give Bill 4025 a second reading?
Public hearing on an ordinance of the common council of the city of South Bend, Indiana, approving a petition of the advisory board of zoning appeals for the property located at 1527 South Michigan Street, Councilmanic District Number 2 in the city of South Bend, Indiana.
Thank you. Committee report.
Yes, Mr. Chair, the zoning and annexation committee met this afternoon, and we bring Bill 4025 to you with no recommendation.
Thank you. That'll go fast. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, council members. Tim Stout, zoning specialist for the city of South Bend with offices on the 14th floor. 40 was Bill 40-25, a petition for the special exception by the owners of 1527 South Michigan to permit the use of vehicle service minor. The property is located in the neighborhood center district. The site previously was home to an automobile dealership from 2007 to at least 2022. So there's a bit of history regarding the process. So staff originally recommended this as unfavorable as proposed use was not compatible with the recommendations of the 2015 Southeast Neighborhood Plan, which called for dense commercial use at the Michigan Indiana intersection that serves the Walkville neighborhood center, which would feature uses such as storefront retail, restaurants, personal services, and professional offices, along with active building facade. The Board of Zoning Appeals, upon reviewing staff recommendation and also the context of the application, particularly the building topology and structure, determined that the building site was developed at 1.4 basically vehicle service minor, and the special exception would be warranted. So they provided a favorable recommendation to the committee. And that's pretty much what we're at.
Give me point of information. I was notified that the live link, there's something wrong with the live link and people couldn't watch it. Is there anything that we're aware of? Are we aware of the live, is the live link still on?
I think we'll ask staff to look into that.
Thank you.
Teams, I know there's a lot of different ways. I know. So. Okay, at this time, petitioner, welcome.
My name is Sarah Farhan, address 1828 Rose Lane, Shortland, Indiana. So we purchased the property 1527 South Michigan Street a couple of years ago. We had been putting, we've been invested in this property. We did some roof, repaired the roof. We did some work on the inside of the building. We've been maintaining the building for the past couple of years. It's been vacant, but we've been maintaining it and just wanting to put life back into this building. We've been paying taxes on that building for the past couple of years, as I mentioned, and we haven't been making anything off of it. So we were just trying to bring life back to this building. Like when we first purchased it, it looked like a garage. Our assumption was it's a garage, and then we were notified of the zoning. So after remodeling the building and making, keeping it up to codes and everything, we are requesting, for a favorable to have a minor auto shop in this building. As I mentioned, there is an auto shop next door to us that sells auto parts, which we can work with and, and bring life back to this corner. There is a couple of dealerships down the road from us that we can work with as well. And we're looking to do minor. We're not trying to rebuild motors or transmissions or anything like that. We're just wanting to do oil changes. We have a party that's interested in doing tire change, oil change, things like that. So we're keeping it very minor. So it's not gonna have any, traffic, or it's not gonna show any, cars stacked on top of each other or anything like that. It's just gonna be a straight minor auto shop. It's already set up. It has an office space, which we remodeled. The bathroom has been redone, the heating, cooling, everything that's always been redone. So we've been putting money into this building, and we just wanted to start, on our investment. So we're looking for a favorable decision, and hopefully, get that any questions.
Thank you. I'll bring it to council members. Council members, any questions? Member Lee?
When you bought this property, did whoever you buy it from ever let you know that the zoning has changed?
We did not know that. The previous owner, owned it for the past 30 years. I think there was a car dealership, slash auto sales, and he owned it from the 1970 all the way to 21, whenever we purchased it from him. He actually retired, and he wanted to just, sell the building, and we were under the impression that it's gonna be an empty neighborhood. Obviously, like I said, we thought it's a garage. It has, two overhead garages. It looks like a garage, but that's what we assumed it's gonna be. And we ran into the same situation on 1527 Miami Street, where we had a building that had 4 overhead garages, and it was zoned for empty as well. And in 23, your board approved it, or, they were just to become a minor shop as well. And it was the same situation as well, but the other one had 4 garages, this one had 2. So,
What will make your shop different than the other shops that are around there?
well, like I said, we, been investing in this property, so, I mean, it's gonna be, we're being very strategic on who we're gonna be placing in there. We're not gonna just put anybody in there. We wanna make sure whoever's gonna be in there is gonna be investing in the property, investing in the community, working with the neighbors. We're not trying to just put anyone in there, especially, if we wanna build that relationship with that tenant, we wanna make sure that it's gonna last, more than a year or so. And, we lease buildings around South Bend, so this is our first building that we have to do. So we have to do a good job of making sure whoever we put in there is gonna stay there and take care of the building, make sure everything is gonna be the way it is.
Just to clarify, this is a special exception, not a rezoning. Okay. Council members, any other questions?
I do have a concern, I'm sitting here thinking about it, because as I drive out of Pittsburgh, I've traveled down there several times. And there's so many car places. I am concerned about that. If it was just one, or this was a few, but it's just so many. I understand that it has garage doors and everything, but you have to understand it from the neighbor's point of view and from, just our city as a gateway, This is so many. I really, I think I want you to try to do something different.
It's unfortunate that, the situation, like you said, there's a couple of them down the street and across the street from me. So I don't know how this building was, out of, like, the whole Michigan is going SNC versus others, like the ones that you mentioned. So, it is an unfortunate situation, but like I said, we're being very strategic. We're not trying to do any auto sales or anything like that. There's not many shops, maybe 1 or 2 shops, but the rest of them are like car dealerships. So that's why it will be different as well, so. It is built as a garage. We don't have any funds to demolish it and open an office building. I don't have that type of money to do that for this building, but I have, one day, hopefully I do, but at this point, we just maintain the way, the shape it is. And just, like I said, been working on the roof, everything else, and just get up with the maintenance, so.
Right.
Thank you, Chair, and I appreciate, your comments, Councilwoman, Bowden Simpson, because I actually live right there in the neighborhood and was a part of the neighborhood plan, that we talked about, over the past several years of all of the, car lots, shops, and things in our immediate area, and the, neighborhood association, and, actually 3 different neighborhood associations, the Miami store and 466 Works had discussions about the main corridor on Michigan Street and Miami Street, and I know that those are planned to be revitalized, in the upcoming cycle years, and we talked about excessive shops And I know that there's a tire place right there, Transpo, right across from Transpo. It does tires and oil changes, and I mean, it's one right at Broadway and Michigan Street. I mean, they're just everywhere. So, I am not in favor of having another one right there in my immediate neighborhood.
Thank you. Council members. Okay. This time we'll go to the public hearing portion. Members of the public shall have the opportunity to address the council, beginning with members of the public in favor, limited to 5 minutes, and then going into any members of the public against, again, limited to 5 minutes. Is there anyone in the public wishing to speak in favor of Bill 40-25, either in person or online?
Can I see any members of the public in person or online wishing to say something?
Are there any members of the public wishing to speak against Bill 40-25 at this time, either in person or online?
I do not see any members of the public in person or online wishing to say.
Thank you. With that, I'll bring it back to the council members. Councilmember,
Are there any kind of, beautification written commitments that could, or any kind of things that could help fix up this place, or, I mean, may not necessarily be a car, or what could be put in that could, I mean, the thing is, it's gonna leave it open, it's gonna leave it, it's gonna be empty. What could be done? And that was the question we had before, the other, what can be put in place, written commitments to fix up that lot, to fix up things, is that, maybe not tonight, but that's why I was hoping that there would be some time later on, and that we could look at that, even if there's still things that have been able to in a sense, and then to move forward, it's nothing but this thing. But what could, that's where I see written commitments as the key. I don't know.
I agree. This is where you have, an opportunity to, have discussions with, petitioners but, like I said, right now, and the way it stands, I stand with the, recommendation of it being unfavorable, but I don't know, what that looks like, but as it stands in its current form.
I hear you.
Thank you. Just a thought, we have a department, head by, Eric Clavitt, you know, about, empowerment and to help people who are investing in things, and perhaps they could be a help as to what else could be done with this property. That's just a thought I had, that, you know, we don't want to just, it's an eyesore like it is, but I have to say, I drive down there several times a week, multiple times a day. There's just too many cars there. I would want something else there, but nothing to do with cars. Nothing. I would like to know, to the petitioner, do you think that, you could, we could table this and maybe give you some more time to think about what else you maybe can come back and you can come back to us again? That was your thought? Okay.
Well, in light of the fact that we're going to table that, what do we do? Motion to table as presented.
Support. I mean,
Second.
Motion to table the bill to 7/28. With
point of order.
along with 3925.
I did have to make sure that there is discussion with administration about.
Oh, yeah. I would agree with that. I would also agree with you, that, the council person representing the district, I would definitely, encourage the petitioner to meet with you. I mean, at large, I'm at peace to meet with him. And so, if you get together separately, we can arrange it, we meet afterwards, I'm at peace.
I would recommend.
Thank
large one for myself with administration, because they may not have any, other alternatives. So I'm not putting it on the city, but I'm asking that if we can, have a discussion.
This is brainstorm, as best we can.
For the assistance of the administration.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of that motion and second to table signify at this time by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This bill will also be tabled to July 28th. And with that, we will move on to our last bill. This is Bill 4125. Clerk Toronto, can you please give Bill 4125 a second reading?
Public hearing on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, approving a petition of the Advisory Board of Zoning Appeals for the property located at 1024 Thomas Street, Councilman District Number 2 in the City of South Bend, Indiana.
This is zoning.
Yes, the zoning and organization committee met this afternoon, and we bring this bill to you as a favorable recommendation.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
That our staff report. Thank you.
Good evening again, council members. Mark Streeter, zoning specialist at the South Bend, with offices on the 14th floor. For you is bill number 41-25, a petition for a special exception by the owner of 1024 Thomas Street to permit a school, pre-K, primary, secondary, as defined in section 210601 F 11 of the city zoning code within the urban neighborhood 1 district. In this case, the school would specifically serve students in grades 6 through 12. The site previously housed a parochial school for St. Stephen Catholic Church, and then the El Santito Child Development Center, meaning that this use is fitting to the existing structure. And here are just a couple more images of the site and the property as it currently stands. As shown on this slide, this use would also be consistent with the near West Side neighborhood plan, which outlined the neighborhood's desire to retain a place of learning and community space on their site. Finally, this use would be compatible with recommendation E5.1 from the city's comprehensive plan, which is to establish and maintain a consistent planning, review, and development process with institutions of higher education, private schools, and the SBCSD to address existing and future school facilities.
Thank you. Our petitioner. Good evening and welcome. Just need a name and address and any key points you'd like to add.
Yes, I'm Joshua Smith. I'm presenting for Community Schools at 1024 Thomas Street. Evening, council members. Been exciting to look forward to moving into the near West Side neighborhood. We're eager to start providing, continue to provide the education been bringing to South Bend for the last 40 plus years, and we're grateful for this new chapter in your digital.
Thank you. Council members, any questions? Yes, questions. Councilmember White.
I just have one, and I apologize to sort of ask this to the committee. Again, thank you so much for your vision in regards to expanding educational opportunities for our citizens, but also most importantly, our students. Do you know how many classes you would have for the secondaries or primaries that you're looking at?
Yes, we'll be offering education for grades 6 through 12.
Okay.
Councilmember Miller.
Yes, I would like to know, what is gonna be so different about this school? Because we have charter schools, schools are just popping up everywhere, so I would like to know what's gonna be so special about your school, and are you, prepared, your school is prepared for the disadvantage?
Yes, thank you. So we have, the Trinity School has been in operation near Jefferson Avenue for 40 plus years. So we have a long history of providing education in this area. We're confident that we can continue doing that well on the near West Side here in a new location. And we have experience offering education to students from families who have a lot of extra needs. I know at least one student who graduated while being functionally with homelessness for time as a student, being helped by faculty members and staff members and other families who send their children to Trinity. So I think that's something we can provide, and we look forward to providing to It is on the website.
So, can I do one more thing? So is there a tuition and are you prepared to, well, I guess that's what I really want to know. Is there a tuition and is it affordable?
Yeah, tuition and financial aid. We provide, both our own internal financial aid, but also, we're eligible for vouchers to the state.
Thank you. Thank you. So you said, with two questions I have. Will you be receiving, you will accept Title I students, and how will you work with, it would be Southland Community School Corporation with that? And the other question, how will you serve students with disabilities?
Yeah, so we don't have a special education program, within the school. We do, we have partnered with the local South Bend schools to provide accommodations that, are not part of, the way that, we go with our curriculum. So there's a bit of a mixture, but yeah, we don't have a full services for absolutely everybody, kind of what is a little bit more narrow than that.
And so students with severe disabilities, you will not be able to take those.
Correct.
This time we will open it up to the public, public hearing portion of the bill. Members of the public can address the council, begin with members of the public in favor with 5 minutes, and then moving on to public, members of the public against, again limited to 5 minutes. Is there anyone from the public wishing to speak in favor of Bill 4125, either in person or online?
I do not see anyone from the public in person or online wishing to speak in favor.
Thank you. This time we'll go to members of the public wishing to speak in opposition. Is there any members of the public, either in person or online, wishing to speak in opposition of Bill 4125?
I do not see any members of the public in person or online wishing to speak in opposition.
Okay, thank you. With that, we'll close the public hearing portion and bring it back to council. Any final comments, thoughts?
So I am concerned, and there's still a lot of things that, maybe the general public does not know. That, I am all for choice, but it seems like some parents of certain students do not have a choice. And that pinches my heart. It does. Because if you're special needs, you don't have as many choices. And so I'm going to appeal to you. You need to expand your special ed services. Because parents of special needs students, they want choices also. And it leaves the public school with the students with the special needs. They working hard, and I know doubt that you're working hard too, but anyone that's been a teacher or has a student that's special needs knows it's a different type of work. And I want all our children to have choices. I just want that on the public record.
Thank you for your presentation. I live in the near west side neighborhood, and so, represent the neighborhood, in this position as I did in 1037 West Colfax. This does conform to the neighborhood plan, that the neighborhood had passed, that the council had passed. Uses of this building, it was an old rectory, it was, El Campito Daycare Center for the longest time, until that moved, and we were sad that it moved. It had real roots and history in the near west side neighborhood. But the neighbors and residents thought it was, hope that would continue to be a daycare center or a school, or maybe even expand the museum campus in some way. So it does fit the interest that the neighbors had expressed in the neighborhood.
We take a motion.
Motion to bring this to the full council, with the favorable recommendation.
Have a motion and a second for a favorable recommendation. Clerk Toronto, can you please do a roll call vote for us?
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Councilmember McBride,
Aye.
Councilmember Good Rogers,
Aye.
Councilmember White, Councilmember Nisbowski, Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
No.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Vice President Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
President Lee.
Aye.
That's 8 ayes and 1 nay.
Thank you. The special exception in Bill 4125 will go forward with a favorable recommendation. At this time, I'll make a motion to adjourn and report to the full council.
So moved.
Second?
You got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Committee of the whole is adjourned.
The full council is now back in session. This is the portion of our meeting where bills are given a third reading and action is taken regarding the bills that were heard during the committee of the whole. Clerk Toronto, would you, Bill 2925 withdrawn, I'm sorry, the word wouldn't come to me. Bill 30-25 was tabled. Clerk Toronto, would you please give Bill 3125 a third reading?
Third reading on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, amending the zoning ordinance for property located at 314 West Chippewa Avenue, Councilmanic District Number 5 in the City of South Bend, Indiana.
Councilwoman, is there a recommendation from the committee of the whole?
Bill comes with a favorable recommendation from the committee of the whole.
I will now entertain a motion regarding Bill 3125.
Motion to approve.
There's been a motion and a second. Clerk Toronto, please call the roll.
Councilmember White, Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Councilmember Nisbowski,
Aye.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Councilmember Good Rogers,
Aye.
Councilmember McBride,
Aye.
Vice President Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
President Lee.
Aye.
9 ayes.
Bill 32-25 has passed.
That was Bill 3125.
3125. Clerk Toronto, would you please give 3225 a third reading?
Third reading on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, amending the zoning ordinance for property located at 1037 West Colfax Avenue, Councilmanic District Number 2 in the City of South Bend, Indiana.
Council Warner, is there a recommendation from the committee of the whole?
Bill 32-25 comes with a favorable recommendation.
I will now entertain a motion regarding substitute Bill 32-25.
Move for pass. Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Clerk Toronto, please call the roll.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Councilmember Nisbowski,
Aye.
Councilmember Good Rogers,
Aye.
Councilmember McBride,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Vice President Thomas Morgan,
Nay.
President Lee.
Aye.
8 ayes, 1 nay.
Bill 32-25 is passed. 39-25 was tabled. 40-25 was tabled. Clerk Toronto, would you give Bill 41-25 a third reading?
Third reading on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, approving a petition of the Advisory Board of Zoning Appeals for the property located at 1024 Thomas Street, Councilmanic District Number 2 in the City of South Bend, Indiana.
Council Warner, is there a recommendation from the committee of the whole?
125 was given a favorable recommendation by the whole.
I will now entertain a motion regarding Bill 41-25.
Motion to approve.
Second?
There's been a motion and a second. Clerk Toronto, please call the roll.
Councilmember McBride.
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson.
Nay.
Councilmember Warner.
Aye.
Councilmember Nasrowski. Councilmember Dr. Davis.
Aye.
Councilmember White. Councilmember Good Rogers. Vice President Thomas Morgan.
Aye.
President Lee.
Aye.
8 ayes, 1 nay.
Bill 4125 is passed. Resolutions. This is the portion of the council's meeting where the common council hears bills filed as proposed resolutions. The title of each proposed resolution is read by the city clerk. A report from the committee chairperson of the standing committee to which the bill was referred to for an advisory review and recommendation is then given. During the public portion on each proposed resolution, members of the public are invited to address the council. We ask that you give your name, address, and comments on the bill. If you have any questions, they will be addressed by the presenter during their rebuttal. Each member of the public is limited to 5 minutes, with those speaking in favor going first, followed by those in opposition, then a 5-minute rebuttal for the presenter of the bill. Clerk Toronto, would you please give resolution 2536 a reading?
A resolution confirming the adoption of a declaratory resolution designating certain areas within the city of South Bend, Indiana, commonly known as 2020 South Main Street, South Bend, Indiana, 46613, an economic revitalization area for purposes of a 10-year real property tax abatement for KPG Donald and Main LP, CO, KPG Companies LLC.
All right. Is there a report from the committee?
Bill 2536 was heard by Community Investments Committee this afternoon and comes forward with a favorable recommendation.
Petition, I ask that you state your name and address for the record.
Michael Roberts, Director of Growth and Opportunity. For your consideration, Bill number 2536 is a confirming resolution that would confirm the abatement for KCG companies. KCG is applying for low-income tax credit award from the IHCDA and partnering with the South Bend Redevelopment Commission. This tax abatement is part of the city's support for the project to improve the application that KCG will be submitting at the end of the month. This property is down at the corner of Main and Donald. You can see the map and preview of the current property. It's owned by the Redevelopment Commission. Currently, does not bring in any taxes. The plan would be, if the credits were received, there would be a 50-unit affordable apartment building. The property tax abatement would be for 10 years. I commented that it partnered with Redevelopment Commission. The applications are due at the end of the month. If KCG were successful, they would likely hear in November on that award. If the project, if the award is not granted, then the project likely would not continue. But as I commented, this plays into the city's work package for the application. Just really quick, the tax abatement over 10 years would come out to our estimate of about $330,000 over that time. Right now, it's city-owned property, does not bring in any taxes. Even if it wasn't city-owned, it's only bringing in a couple $100 a year if it was. So we support this project, and we thank you for your consideration.
All right. Is there any additional petitioners, though?
KCG representatives are online.
Okay. If you'd like to unmute yourself and add anything to the presentation.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. My name is Carla Burke. I am the Executive Vice President of KCG Development. We are located out of Indianapolis, Indiana. We feel that this development will provide necessary, safe, decent, and affordable housing for the residents of South Bend. This allows residents not to be overly encumbered by housing costs leaving them more money for education, health, employment, training, and family needs. So we really appreciate your consideration, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Council members, are there any questions on the discussion and, no questions? At this time, we'll go to the public hearing. Clerk Terrell, is there anyone, in the chambers or online that would like to speak in favor?
I do not see any members of the public in person or online wishing to speak in favor.
Is there any person, anyone in person or online that would like to speak in opposition?
I do not see any members of the public in person or online wishing to speak in opposition.
At this point, the public hearing on Resolution 2536 is now closed. Council members, any comments? Not, I will entertain a motion.
First for adoption, second.
There's been a motion and a second. Clerk Terrell, please call the roll.
Councilmember Dr. Davis,
Aye.
Councilmember Miskowski, Councilmember Ben Rogers,
Aye.
Councilmember White, Councilmember McBride,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolden Simpson, Councilmember Warner,
Aye.
Vice President Thomas Morgan,
Aye.
President Lee,
Aye.
9 ayes.
Resolution 2536 is passed. Bills on first reading. Clerk Terrell, would you please give Bill 42-25 a first reading?
First reading on an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, amending the zoning ordinance for property located at 740 North Brookfield Street, Councilman District Number 2 in the City of South Bend, Indiana.
I would like to entertain a motion to send Bill 42-25 to the South Bend Planning Commission for public hearing on July 21st, and to the Zoning and Annexation Committee for public hearing and third reading on July 28th.
So moved.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. All in agreement, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion passes. Clerk Terrell, would you give Bill 43-25 a first reading?
First reading of the ordinance of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, amending section 2-210 of the Municipal Code pertaining to fees and processes for public records requests.
All right, I would like to entertain a motion to send to the Personnel and Finance Committee for public hearing and third reading on July 28th. There's been a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Opposition? Motion passes. Unfinished business.
Yes, Mr. Chair. President. First of all, I'd like to thank, Attorney Bob Palmer for reaching out with the letter to, the Community Review Board. I appreciate you following up on that request. So I hope that they will continue to vote openly and not try to do anything private. So I hope they encourage that. So thank you for doing that. I also, in the last meeting, we talked about Kroger's. I'd like to thank, Councilwoman Sheila Nagowski for working along with the administration to write a letter. I'd also like to thank President Lee, for including all of us in the letter, regarding Kroger's. I went by Kroger's yesterday. They said they were gonna close in August, but the pharmacy was already closed yesterday. And most of the stores not even being stocked. It's almost like it's closed now. And, so I'm glad I was not able to make the neighborhood meeting last week, but I'm glad that they went ahead. I'd like to thank them, the neighborhood meetings and the council members that were able to go, because it's a serious issue. We only have, Martin's on the website in terms of, not the whole website, that's north and south. And, that's a serious issue. I looked at, I think, been finding information on how you can even get a Walmart neighborhood grocery or something. And one of the key things that I'll send it to you all, it said that we have to have letters from the council and the mayors and other things. So I'll send that out to you. We can even get a Walmart neighborhood. Because we need something on that to kind of scale in that place, work along with our Chamber of Commerce, and we need that. I'm sure neighbors are here to concern that. And so I just want us to continue to look at that. I was glad that years ago, Mayor Pete and us, we were able to move the, Martins and fix that up because that wasn't the best at the time. But now it is on Mayflower Road, but that cannot just be our only source, especially with all the growth that's coming with New Carlisle. But all of the New Carlisle coming out there, they can really work together between the New Carlisle property and the west side and south end coming together. I really think that we can do something. So let's continue to brainstorm how we can all build that up because it's a real big need for all of us there. And, my condolences again to the clerk, which I know lots of them.
Anyone else? Unfinished business? I do want to send my condolences to Clerk Terrell, so passing of her mother. All right, any new business? Yes, ma'am.
I want to give a few shout outs. People, new business. I want to give a shout out to, Miss Mary McAfee, really been working with establishing some neighborhood committees in the 5th district. Many people are unaware that really that's how you push forward things, is have an established neighborhood committee. The Department of Public Works, thank you for working with us with those alleys and Eggman, just responding to people's concerns that helps alleviate their concerns and fears, and I'm looking forward to having that alley regraded and upgraded because those people only have access to their garages, to the alley, and they're tearing up their cars just trying to get to their alley. So keep up the good work, and we're looking forward to it being resolved.
Anybody else?
I always, but I just want to make sure that we continue to thank our police officers, and all those who provide safety to us in our meetings. Thank you for staying back there with us. And, I'd like to thank the chief for staying people, so I always appreciate that. Thank you.
And go ahead.
Yeah, I would just like to thank Goodwill Industries. They had the St. Joe County, military stand down at the Century Center. And it was a wonderful event. It was wonderfully attended. It's really reaching out and helping those veterans in our community in need and providing them with resources. They host 6 of these events in the state of Indiana. And I believe we were the 2nd or 3rd event, so they still have 2 or 3 more to go. They had fresh food there. They had vegetables that they were giving away. And it was really good to get out and talk with our veterans, and they had a lot to say, to be honest with you. So, I just like to thank them for hosting that as they do every year, and it was an honor to be there.
Yes.
I just like to encourage the community to come out during our budget season. This is a trying year for us with a lot of the changes. A lot of the changes are coming from the federal government and state government, but it's trickling down for us as a local community to make some decisions. So we need to make sure that the community is a part of that and come out and be engaged with us. So there's a lot of changes or decisions that we're gonna have to make.
I would like to thank our community resource officers and our neighborhood services as we are dealing with the issue at 2506 Bergen. We had a RV that was parked there that is now gone, and they're working to resolve the issues with that site and problem sites across the city. So thank you all for all of your help. With that being all, we will now go to privilege of the floor. Disrespectful, rude, or disruptive speech or actions will not be tolerated. Such speech or actions, as well as verbal attacks on any person, may result in the individual without notice forfeiting the remainder of his or her allotted time. Individuals who wish to address the council must state their name and residential address. Individuals will be limited to 3 minutes only. The maximum time limit for this portion of the meeting shall be 30 minutes. Individuals shall not be permitted to address topics which were heard by the council previously on the agenda. Council President may assign a topic raised by an individual during the privilege of the floor to the appropriate council member and/or request the city clerk to contact a member of the city administration for review, and topics assigned shall be responded to at the next scheduled council meeting. At this time, State your name and address for the record.
Yes, Logan Foster, 1138 College Street. Here we are at another meeting. And yet again, this body has chosen to ignore amending Article 2, Chapter 1, Section 210(1) of our municipal code. I will again quote Bob Palmer when he referenced our out-of-date code, quote, "Nobody tried to reconcile the ordinance with the state statute. You are no one. This is your job as a legislative body." For 34 years, our city's code has conflicted with state law, and this council refuses to bring it into compliance. Must we speculate why? What must we as citizens do to compel our representatives to act? Are taxpayers no longer represented in this chamber? Does Councilwoman Ophelia Rogers not represent me in District 2? Do Rules Committee members Kenneth Lee, Rachel Thomas Morgan, and Troy Warner not oversee the regulations governing the overall operations of the Common Council as well as matters of public trust? I stand here today to reiterate that I have consistently communicated my concerns to my elected officials publicly in this public venue. Time and time again, I have raised my voice in the appropriate setting, only to have it fall on deaf ears. The record of this institution reflects your inaction, and worse, it reflects bias. The public record, the video and audio tape shows moments of clear transgression, moments where Councilwoman Sheila Nagasi assaulted me in this very room, moments where Clerk Corrado and officers of the South Bend Police Department colluded, as captured on said body camera, to falsely accuse me of staging a public conflict, moments where Mayor Mueller's office concocted made-up racist accusations in an attempt to silence my voice and violate my rights under the First and 14th Amendments. The weight of these actions are heavy. These are not isolated incidents. They form a pattern of contempt for cooperation, for fairness, and for the public trust. This body must choose to do its job, not for appearances, but for the good of those it represents. And to honor the public oath each of you took, it is time that you work for the public rather than conspiring against the public. 30 seconds. It is time to be proactive, not reactive. And I do ask that you guys follow up on this, because it has been, what, half a dozen times that I've asked for this amendment? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? After state your name and address for the record, please.
Thank you, sir. Henry Davis, Joe here, 5117 Idlewood Drive. I am here on behalf of the Bell Park Neighborhood Association and so, thank you, Mr. Davis, Dr. Davis, for your comment. For disclosing, I want to read this letter to you guys, and as a matter of fact, I have some comments thereafter. Dear Mayor Mueller and members of the South Bend Common Council, on behalf of the residents of LaSalle Park Neighborhood, the LaSalle Park Neighborhood Alliance Association is requesting an urgent public meeting with your offices to address three critical issues impacting our community. Number one, the lack of positive promotion of West Side to attract investment. The certain closure of the Clover bookstore on Western Avenue, which has created a growing food access crisis in historically underserved and a majority Black and brown neighborhoods. Number two, the lack of visible progress follow through on the LaSalle Park Neighborhood Plan, which was developing in partnership with the city officials and the community, but remains largely unrealized. And number three, the need for transparency and input regarding how the city of South Bend's budget addresses the needs of our neighborhood and mitigates the compounding impact of the disinvestment we're lacking. We are requesting the meeting at a time that is accessible to working families and should include the mayor's office, members of the South Bend Common Council, and relevant department heads from the county investment, from the community investment and public works. LaSalle Park residents deserve to be heard and to see
meaningful responses to the urgent issues that are shaping our daily lives. We believe the meeting is necessary first step towards rebuilding trust and advancing equitable development in our neighborhood. Humbly, myself, our Neighborhood Alliance Association Incorporated. That's as much as I will probably say about that issue. Last Tuesday, if it was the 8th, we had a meeting. I think it was more than 100 people from the neighborhood that came out and participated. Not expecting those folks to show up to a council meeting because they don't. But what I will say is that there is a growing concern. The idea of the government doesn't make sense. The idea of the public investment and having private investment follow behind it makes a lot of sense. We can label the area as publicly distressed neighborhood, just like we've had a few before. There's all kinds of ways of addressing this. We have districts that we can expand. We have tax that we can use to help support development. But I do know, that this doesn't reside exactly with the council. As a matter of fact, it does not. We're asking you for your support. This is a mayor's conversation. This is a mayor's department conversation. But we're still asking you for your support because you are our representatives and because you do hold the strings to the purse. So please, please, please take this seriously. We do need it. We not too far from Sheba's house. We live right around the corner. And so, I think she probably would understand what we're saying and the pain that we're up against. So thank you so much for your time and God bless you. Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Mr. Geiger, please, unmute yourself and state your name.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Jordan Geiger, 302 South Falcon Street. I just want to echo some of the points that were mentioned by Henry. We had a meeting, neighborhood association meeting last week, Tuesday, and we had a few council members who were there, Ophelia Gordon Rogers and Karen White. Want to appreciate you both for coming. And obviously, you know, residents expressed concerns about a myriad of issues, but especially around Kroger, which was the focus. So I'm hoping that based on conversations that I've had with Lynn Collier earlier today and other residents, that we can work alongside the administration and the Common Council and engaging with, engaging with the administration about what we can do to bring another grocer to that location, and also to continue with conversations around the neighborhood plans. That neighborhood planning process has been going on. Well, right now it's stalled, but it's been 2 years since we first started having conversations about it. And the planning department had mentioned that there was a staffing issue, which inhibited their ability to continue on with our plan and another neighborhood's plan. I think River Park. No, not River Park. I can't remember exactly, but I'm just hoping that we can restart those conversations and talk about the challenges of the neighborhood, because people had concerns and they, of course, like, as you all know and have heard, folks are feeling neglected and seeing development happening on the east side of the river and not enough happening, this on the far west side. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Please state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Tom Simmons. I live on the south side in Crest Manor, 5624 Raleigh Drive. Ms. Bolton doesn't live too far away from me. Reached out to her regarding our concern for our fireworks ordinance that we feel has been downtown in our neighborhood. We had quite the disturbances this year prior to the allotted time, and most certainly illegal fireworks that constituted somewhat of a sonic boom that rattled the neighborhood over and over and over again. I got a large German Shepherd. He's been around all kinds of issues, and this is the first year he's been affected. This is the first year in the 14 years that I lived in South Bend that I've never heard fireworks like this in a neighborhood. The most certainly illegal. They're probably close to a half a stick of dynamite. They're on the ground, they're in the air. She can hear them, a mile away from my house. I live a block away from them. There's another neighbor here whose dog ran through the back of my wooden fence, and through the front of my wooden fence, and tore half of her face off. So this is highly unusual. It's going on in Mishawaka, it's going on in other places. It's on Nextdoor app, it's on Facebook. There are fireworks that are available that people get their hands on. I've gone down and purchased them myself. They're available if you ask for them. I've reached out to ATF to get involved. I've reached out to the chief to have conversation with him regarding the matter. I think it's a burden for the police to have to deal with this. I think there's other ways around it. We need to update this ordinance. It's probably super outdated. Doesn't have enough teeth, clearly. The police were out to our neighborhood a number of times, and they don't seem to know how to manage this. I think maybe it needs to go into court enforcement. There needs to be a forum. Maybe we, in this technology, know the technology, can submit videos from ourselves to a three-panel code enforcement panel that institutes fines. I'm going to follow up with some requests for public information regarding the number of calls that came to this specific house, not isolated to this specific house, but they were certainly leading the charge in our neighborhood. I went ahead and created a notice and used all of my day Sunday, yesterday, when I should have been on the beach with my dog, walking my neighborhood, taking a poll. There's overwhelming support for something to be done to isolate and eliminate the booms. None of us are anti-fireworks. We love our freedom. We love fireworks. I'm 58 years young. I think I know what normal fireworks are, and these are by far normal fireworks. We have video of the incident. We downloaded decibel charts and took readings. And we need to find a way collectively, and I'll continue to work with my councilwoman to navigate this path. I'm a contractor, this isn't my gig, but I'm gonna make it my gig, and we're gonna figure this out. And I appreciate your time. Maybe some of you have experienced the same, and I hope you'll be able to work with us in some capacity to get a grip on this before we have to go through this again next year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That could be something we can work with in our neighborhood. Maybe.
I do want you to know that, Clerk, Terrell sent you, the email that Mr. Emmons sent of, these type of, fireworks that sound like dynamite.
It was well spread around. And, so we will work to try to address this and get a forum together. Thank you, everybody who expressed, one more person, all right. State your name and address for the record, please.
2220 Highland. Been working with the county for a while. We have properties that Gerald Josh lately has put homeless people in. They keep us up all night. Last night, 2 people tried to break into our garage. We were awake. The cops said they were kids, sent them away. They didn't go through anything. The grass is not cut. There's trash everywhere. There's drug dealers. We cleared them out. They're all back again because Gerald brought them back. And it's getting worse. I have a 11-year-old daughter that can't play outside. All the neighborhood kids, they're in the house. We've had 2 neighborhood meetings. We've done petitions. I need help. His properties are overgrown. He's working without permit. He's doing whatever he wants. And I just need some help here.
Rodney had it only 22 Highland Avenue. We spoke to probably a few of you guys about this problem. And you all know that he has basically taken away, because it was his brother and I cleared the area. It's right out of the 2 block radius.
of houses, garage, whatever. And he came back and within 2 weeks, he killed them, same people and more. Now we're living through the same problem over again. We're talking 4 years each now. You guys got a year, over a year into it. For 4 years, our neighbors have been locked in the houses. Our kids have been locked in houses because we had drug deals, prostitutes, car thieves. You name it, it's there. If you want to see it, come anytime late at night. You'll see them walking through the woods with flashlights. A backpack, riding bicycles with little carts on it, doing the little deal. All night long. Now, we've lived this way 4 years now. We are done. We're absolutely done with it. And I'm fearing that more may come of it than I would like to come of it. Because I have zero tolerance right now as we speak because my daughter can't play. She can't go out in the swimming pool that we purchased so she could have a place to be, have her friends over. She can't do it. We're embarrassed to bring our families into the area because of just the nastiness of the whole area. It's a shame. And we're just asking for help to stop this. Thank you.
And we do want you to know that we are working very closely with the administration to address these issues, and your councilwoman is helping to lead the charge. And we are working very, very hard to put some teeth and some things in order to move this forward. Thank you.
I've been,
Yes.
I've been to every meeting. We have petitions out the game about this whole thing. We have everything, police calls, whatever you may want, it's there. We've had video cameras of 3 years of all this going on. But no one said, we want the videos. Because what they tell us, oh, you can't prove nothing through the video, even though it's sitting right there in your face. So you tell us how we're supposed to react. I mean, like I said, 4 years. 4 years. I mean, it doesn't take it, for me, if I was home last night, those kids wouldn't have got a pass. Because it don't take me 4 years to make a decision. You're on my property. You don't belong there. It doesn't take that long to make a decision. This man not only has destroyed one area of the city, he's destroyed 2 areas of the city, which you know about. But yet, since he's 81 years old, we're giving him passes, we're slapping his hand, giving him 60 fines. I'm sorry, that's how I feel. The fines that he is occurring are too low. Not that it's disrupting everybody that he is disrupting. Like, I was just at the meeting, at the 14th floor, I think it was, I was there. They're gonna say, okay, we're gonna give you 2 months to fix it. If not, we're gonna slap a $1,000 fine on you. So what? You don't care about the fine. You don't care about none of that. And, you know, it's ridiculous. You're letting one man destroy 2 areas of one city. And you're just saying that. And I'm sorry I ran over my time, I'm just yapping on. And Sheila, I know, I heard some bad things with this gentleman behind me said. She's been there for me 24 hours a day, ever since this started. I have nothing but the best about her. So, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ask him to repeat his address.
2220 Highland Avenue, South Bend, Indiana.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else? If not, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for your words. Thank you for all of what you said today. And thank you for being here and giving your time. Thank you. This meeting is adjourned.